Hello my friends and welcome. My name is Dennis and today we are here with you in this Boeing 737 NG virtual cockpit of PMDG model of Prepare 3D version 4 flight simulator. Well, quite a long name, but actually I think PMDG models on these flight simulators are fantastic. They're very close to real airplanes for procedures because all the switches, most of the switches are working actually like in real airplane. And you probably know that I'm real captain of Boeing 737 NG. I fly the real airplane in the real airline. Last time we did the pre-flight procedure from cold and dark to this, so we have instruments, all the systems were checked and we almost ready for engine start, but we skipped the CDU pre-flight. CDU means this unit, actually it's MCDU, and we need to set our flight route, we need to set our performance for the aircraft, need to set the MCP, the mode control panel in exact way what we need for our flight, and we need to set navigation data for our departure, and later on we'll start engines and takeoff. So today it's the cockpit setting for particular standard instrument departure and of course CDU pre-flight with this flight management computer. So let's start my friends. Here is CDU, actually it's MCDU, multi-purpose control display unit, and here is index page, open index and go. Let's go to ident page to identify our airplane. So here is Boeing 737/800. What we have, engines rating 26 kilo. This is the navigation data provided by Iraq. I got it in internet and it's still valid. It's until June 2020, so it's okay. Program support data. Let's go to position in it. So every time you may press this button on the right to go to the next required item, and if you want to go to specific page you can press some of these buttons, or you can go to index. It's like a main menu where you can go to other chapters of your MCDU. So first let's go to ident, we identify our aircraft, it's current, let's go to position in it. Yes, we are in Prague airport, Lima Kilo Papa Roma, it's ICAO code for Prague. This is our navigation data. I already set IRS systems. IRS is on position, it's almost equal to our GPS position, which is quite nice. Let's go to the route. So route, usually we have automatically set with the origin Lima Kilo Papa Roma, but here maybe it's the simulator, so I'll set it by myself. And we are going to fly to Boryspil airport. It's my home base, just near to the Kiev. So we're going to Boryspil. Let's make it pilot block, pilot BB, pilot block flight 101 PBF 101. It's my flight number, let's say, and we're gonna go to the runway. There are some of the runways and I need to, for our departure to be in Wozice as far as I remember, and we need runway 24 for that. So we're gonna perform probably Wozice 3 Alpha or something. So runway 24 is automatically set because I choose it in departure. Well, next we're gonna perform our flight settings from point Wozice, the first point in our flight plan, and we continue. Oh no, I'll put it here, and we can activate it, and we can put the route number and the next point for the route. I will just show it to you. And here's the part of the flight plan that I used to fly myself on a real airplane this year in February. I miss my flying, but actually this is my real flight from Lima Kilo Papa Roma from Prague to Boryspil, actually unit from Kilo Bravo Bravo, which is the biggest airport in Ukraine, Boryspil airport. And we have departure scheme over there, standard instrument departure, Victor Oscar Zulu 3 Bravo departure. For us it may be different because the runway may change, so the departure scheme will also change. For us the main thing here is Victor Oscar Zulu, it's the beginning of the airway, and the name of the airway we have here, Lima 993, and Liska is the end of the airway. Then again, next airway name and the end of the airway. Echo Sierra Echo Tango Oscar, and like this you go to down to Sierra Lima Victor, where you have arrival, standard arrival for Boryspil Airport. I've just printed the flight plan for me, the part of it, and let's start putting it to our CDU. The first point is Victor Oscar Zulu, and the next will be our airway name. The name of it is Lima 993. And the next point is Liska. Go to Lixa. Yeah, and usually after you put everything, you need to cross-check with your partner, with your captain, with your first officer for correct input to CDU, because it may be crucial. So execute. We already have some part of the flight plan. I think you got the idea, so I may just skip it and I'll show you then I finish with it. I have just finished with the flight plan, so we have it as active in our flight management computer already. So you just put the beginning of the airway, the name of the airway, the finish of the airway. Again, the beginning of the airway, the same point, the name, the different name of the airway, and the end of the airway. Exactly what you have in your flight plan in paper variant or electronic flight bag variant. We don't have SIDs, so departures and arrivals for now, but we'll set it a little bit later. And to go next, you need to press this perf init button over here. Let's go there, and we have gross weight, we have what is there, fuel weight, reserves, cost index, altitude, all these squares we need to replace with the special values that we have. For example, I know my predicted gross weight, which I have calculated in my flight plan, so I can predict that my gross weight will be, let's say, 63.4 tons. Let's put it here, and we have the fuel, and the fuel is our known value, which is in our fuel tanks, of course, so 13.7 tons, and we have zero fuel weight, so this number minus this number gives us zero fuel weight. The reserves, well, let's say 2.2 tons should be enough for us. Cost index, which is in your flight plan, well, I put 28 for this time. And here we need to set our flight level, so we need to set the value that is lower than its maximum value. So we set 370, for example. Well, actually we can set 390, but it really doesn't matter. The cruise altitude wind, so we set the average wind, let's say it's 300/20. No, it's on cruising altitude, let's say like this. So the temperature on flight level and the transition altitude, well, in Europe it is very low compared to let's say United States, 18,000 feet. So I've set, I think, 5,000 feet for Prague. We'll check the charts a little bit later for precise value. Oh, I know what is this. You can actually request the data. So we load, execute, and we have exact numbers delivered to us. Well, let them be, but maybe I'll just change the flight level for the lower one. So my friends, I hope it is understandable. Here you just put the gross weight and you have your zero fuel weight, the fuel you actually have on your airplane. Here's the reserves, the fuel that you need for your alternate airport, and final reserve fuel, usually for 30 minutes of flight. Cost index, the more cost index you have, the faster you'll fly, let's say like this. The flight level, the cruise wind, the average wind on a cruise, the cruise temperature, the transition altitude for your departure airport. And next we'll go to N1 limit page. Let's see. Here, my friends, is the N1 limit page where you put thrust settings for your departure, for your climb, for your takeoff actually, and here you just can cheat with your airplane computer. So basically you have the electronic flight bag software. We use Boeing software, but I don't have it on my personal computer, and I don't have the iPad today with me, so my daughter is playing with it, so I have to guess something. So for you it's not very necessary to have all those calculations. So you see, I just cheat with my airplane here. If I just delete it, so you can see the thrust setting is 98.4%. So but I can cheat. I can say to the computer it's not plus 15 right now, it's plus 43, let's say, and I put it here. Okay, for this temperature you need to reduce your thrust. So you can cheat with your airplane and it is normal. And also you can derate. So we have actually 26 kilo, which is quite high thrust setting for us. So we need to have, let's say, 22k. And it's automatically selects the climb to thrust for our climb. And you can see for how much we reduced our thrust. So it was initially 98 with something, and here we have 87.5, which is okay for us because the runway there is quite long and it's not very tough conditions for our takeoff. But let's go next. I already put the flaps 1 here, and we have this data for our percentage and 1% for our takeoff. Here you need to put the center of gravity, and here we have speeds. Actually you don't need to trust these speeds because you may have those the exact numbers in your electronic flight bag software, in your Boeing software. So you have V1, rotate, V2, sometimes they're the same, but you need to trust to your certified software, not this CDU. But we will trust today, so I'll just confirm it. V1, rotate, V2, and let's say we have the center of gravity with us right now. I'll just put it 24.5, let it be like this, and we have the trim setting for our departure, the trim wheel setting actually here. So we need to put 5.2. We may put it now. On Boeing 737 NG you can have automatic thrust reduction after takeoff, so you can have automatic thrust reduction from your takeoff thrust to the climb thrust. Also you can have automatic acceleration, and you just need to press, so you're in a takeoff ref page over here, and you just need to press this next page. You see we are at the first page out of second, and we go to the second page after second. Here we have acceleration height, engine out, acceleration height, thrust reduction height, and basically you just need to change it. You put 800 here, 800 here, 800 here, and I will tell you why I did like this. And here we have the scheme for the noise abatement procedure number 2 and ADP2, as you can see here, and it's widely used in aviation for every airplane type. So you can perform an ADP2 and ADP1 and ADP A and B procedures throughout your flying. So it's commonly used everywhere, and for our airline, if there is no any published noise abatement procedures for particular runway for particular airport, we use an ADP2 procedure as standard. So I don't really know what is there in Prague because I don't have iPad with me right now to check the briefing, but I will put this scheme, so it may not fit with the real scheme for that airport. ADP2 procedure is very simple. So you take off, of course, with takeoff thrust and with a speed V2 plus 20 around, and then passing 800 feet you just accelerate while maintaining positive rate of climb. Body angle is reduced and flaps slats are retract. So you just retract your flaps. So that is why you need to accelerate a little bit to V0 flaps. V0 flaps is the speed for 0 flaps configuration, and after that you just reduce the power from the takeoff thrust, so you can do it at one moment. So you just decrease the airplane pitch, increasing the airspeed and decrease the thrust at the same time. Then passing 3000 feet, just accelerate to en route climb speed, and you will accelerate to speed 250 around for the terminal area, and then you pass plateau 100, you can accelerate to your economic climb speed. Then you retract your flaps, you can accelerate to V0 flaps plus 10 around this speed, so we can have 10 knots of gap until passing 3000 feet, and then you accelerate to 250 knots. And here's the scheme for NADP1 procedure. So the main difference is that you reduce the thrust also at 800 feet, but then you have to maintain this V2 plus 20 speed, which you were maintaining after your takeoff. And you maintain it like this until reaching 3000 feet over here, and then you can accelerate and retract the flaps. So in that case, we'll set 800 for thrust reduction, and for acceleration we'll set 3000 feet. So here we're back to our CDU. So in case of NADP1 we will set like this, so 3000 feet, and for NADP-A with the thrust reduction at 1500 we'll set like this. So for NADP2, which will fly today, I'll say 800 for the thrust reduction and acceleration. So we'll reduce the thrust, reduce the speed, increase our airspeed, and retract the flaps. Very easy. Let's go to our departure scheme right now. So we go to departure arrival button, just press it here, and we have departure and arrival to Uniform Kilo Bravo Bravo, which is Borispol Airport, and also we have arrival for in case we need to divert to our origin airport. We don't mainly use this button, but here we press DEP over here. Here we have already active runway 24. Takeoff speeds delayed, but it's okay, we'll set them later. And we need to just clear this message. By the way, this panel here, this where you set all these numbers, letters, is called Scratchpad. And next we go to Wozice. So we'll just put maybe this one 3 alpha for us and execute route. Okay, so we have once again runway 24 and active already cell this. This is our departure, and we may check the legs page over here, and we have these points in our legs page to Wozice and Liksau. So actually we have all the flight plan in our legs page, and for more precise, let's say, fuel calculation, we may say also arrival for Uniform Kilo Bravo Bravo. Let's say ILS runway 36 right and Charlie Yankee 1 Whiskey with no transition. And we'll just check according to our flight plan. We'll need to check all the points, and you need to clean these boxes. Just do like this. Later on you'll find out according to your arrival chart if you've done everything correctly, but basically you just get rid of the squares. You may also check the progress page, so you just press this prog button over here, and you're in the progress page, one of the 4 actually. So we have lots of pages here, but actually you need the first one. So we have the total distance to your destination. So your destination is Uniform Kilo Bravo Bravo, and you have 790 nautical miles to it, and you need to cross-check this number with your flight plan, and they should be around the same. And also you have the total fuel quantity and the fuel that you'll have on your destination, at your destination. So it's more than enough for us, because we have, again, we go to final reserve, we need to have 2.8 and we'll have 9.2, so quite a lot of fuel for holding for everything. And now let's go to the climb page. So we basically need to press this button, CLB, and what we have here, we have our cruising flight level. Actually we have it in cruise as well, so it's optimum cruise. So we may set actually 390, why not? Maximum flight level, and what else in the climb page? Target speed for the climb, and here we have restriction, speed to 50 below flight level 100. So we'll maintain this speed below this flight level, but as I say to you, if we go to takeoff page, we are performing NADP2 procedure, so we'll accelerate after 800 feet to very high speed, and we need to correct it. We need to accelerate here to V0 flaps, so minimum clean speed plus 10, I would say. So then we'll retract the flaps. We have to maintain 0 flaps speed with plus 10 with flaps up, and that is what we need to set over here. We need to know the airfield elevation for us, and we need to know the speed, the 0 flap speed. How to know, how to find the 0 flap speed for the current configuration? Well, actually we need to go to N1, no, not N1, to index, to approach, and here we have speed for flaps 40, which is 139. Basically you add 70 knots to it, and that is your minimum clean speed. That's the rule of the Boeing. So we have the minimum clean speed of 209, and we need to add 10 more knots. So I hope it is understandable to you. 219 slash, and now we just need to understand at what altitude to what altitude should we maintain that speed. What we have here is our instrument departure, so we're going to fly WZ 3 Alpha, Victor Oscar Zulu 3 Alpha departure, and I need only airport elevation from this. It is 1234 feet of elevation, so we need to add 3000 more to obtain altitude, about means and level. So actually here we need to press 219, it disappeared, so put like this. We add 3000 to 1234, which is 4200 and let's say 40, and we'll have this speed restriction. So we'll accelerate, we'll retract the flaps and accelerate to this speed, this particular speed, and we'll maintain it until 3000 feet above ground level or 4240 altitude. And here we need to set the restriction speed, because we have the restrictions to maintain speed to 50 below 10,000 feet or below flight level 100. We just put it here, just not to violate that restriction. Alright my friends, that's all for the climb page, and let's go to the fix page. Here we have to put, so we need to put the reference point for our MSA. In our case it's minimum sector altitude, so I'll just show you again. It's our departure scheme, and we have sectors. You see the minimum safe altitude here is 3600, here it's 3900, so it's minimum sector altitudes over here from the Oscar Kilo Lima reference, and we need to put it here, the Oscar Kilo Lima. Just put it here and put the distance of 25 nautical miles, and you'll have this circle on your navigation display. That's basically all that you need. On now, just check everything, climb, and yeah, what you need to check is this. Be like this, and just put speeds once again. That's all you need to check. Actually here we have V2 148, and we can put it in our mode control panel 148, which will set over here 148. Perfect. And at this point we can arm the auto throttle, and we can use LNAV and VNAV as well, as you can see, the arm. And what we need also, we need to set our runway course, well actually runway heading first, and the course, it may be set for interception of the first radial if you have some radials for the departure, but here we'll just set it maybe for just for the runway, because we may not have the radials. We'll just see. So yeah, it's the first radial of 241. Let's admit that the runway heading is also 241, so we put everything 241. Course is also 241. It's quite a long straight route for initial climb 241, 241. Yeah, initial climb clearance, by the way, is 5,000 feet. Why? Because we have it here. So initial climb clearance is 5,000 feet. Perfect, we have set the MCP panel. And by the way, navigation display may be very helpful for you to check all the information. So here we have active runway 24 for us, initial climb and initial point. It's not fly over, it's just fly by, as you can see. And also we may check the scale. Here's see this fix that we just drawn 25 nautical miles. Here is the terrain data, by the way. Also, you may check the flight plan relative to the north. So go to flight plan, like this, to FPL. By the way, I need to press this to hectopascals because I had it in inches of mercury. I just need to put them in hectopascals. Yeah. So let it be. And here we have now relative to the north information. It is not connected to your aircraft anymore, and you can just go to next page, shut down right now, and go to here to next, and here's the approach for Uniform Kilo Bravo Bravo and Kiev. It's crazy, looking crazy now, but it will be okay later on. Just need to change the arrival chart. It's not from the Charlie Yankee, it's from the other scheme. Should be from another point. I just want to change the arrival because it's not from the Charlie Yankee. I just missed it. It's from the Solovivka. Charlie Yankee, well, you go if you fly from the south. Here you need Solovivka, well, let's say 2 whiskey. Alright. That should be much better for us in case we fly from the west. And also we may have some of the information on our primary flight display. So here is the speed tape, and we have V1 of 145 knots. Here's preset V2 speed, which we have on a mode control panel. So if we go to N1 takeoff, we have V1 145, V2 148, which is quite good. We have the same values here. Here's the preset altitude of 5,000 feet, and we have vertical bar. Why? I don't know. Nothing is active here. Maybe it's some simulator bug or something. Usually we don't have it. Then you press toggle, you also just have the wings level, or we have heading select, depends on your software update, but we never have it. Then you arm it. Well, maybe on this modification you have it. Maybe I just confused a little bit. So that's the elevation that you have right now. So we add to 3,000 feet to this altitude elevation. To this elevation, and we have the altitude for our noise abatement procedure. Everything is set except of central desk. Central desk, let's go to it. Pedestal. Wow. Here we may set the preset, the VR or localizer or ILS frequency. For example, your highest frequency for runway 24 for active runway for your landing is 111.7, let's say, and for navigation frequency for departure you preset 112.6. so this Prague Oscar Kilo Lima VR, and maybe also may preset this was it 116.95, so 112.6 112.6, let it be here. And same for the here we have ILS, just in case we need to divert to our origin airport very fast for ILS approach. Here we have also Oscar Kilo Lima VRDMI, this one active, and preset this one 1695 over here. I've just forgot about the IFRA, so you need to preset it using this minimums. So you use it as your minimum preset for your landing, but also you need to preset as EFRA for your departure, just for your reference. So elevation is 1240 plus 800, it is 2040 feet for your EFRA. At this altitude you start the acceleration with one engine, flaps retraction and so on. So let it be 2040 for this airport. Alright my friends, what we need now is this chart. This is a taxi chart for our taxi route. So we are here at the runway 30, which wasn't in use when I was flying to Prague. So I always landed here for runway 24 or runway 06. So what we need to do is we need to taxi actually here throughout the runway. Maybe we'll take taxiway Golf here through the Hotel Alpha, and we'll take the holding point for runway 24. Runway is pretty long, 3,715 meters, which is okay for us. And what we need here is the ATIS frequency 12216. Let me write it down, 12216. Also the delivery frequency over here, 120.06. Here we just have the information for your SID, for the active runway, for your squawk, for initial climb clearance, but we already have the initial climb clearance in our SID chart, so we may not need it. However, we need to listen this ATIS information. Actually, we need to listen it. Then you first come to the airplane just before your pre-flight procedure, but maybe 1 hour, well, not 1 hour, 30 minutes passed, and you need to listen to the newest ATIS information, which we'll do right now. We'll try to listen to it. Okay, we now need to tune the ATIS frequency. By the way, I switched this all on. That is what you need to do prior to takeoff. And we have ATIS. Why I do not hurry? Alright, we have it. Wind is calm, visibility greater than 20 miles. Sky conditions clear, temperature 13 dew points. So K, we have the QNH, which is confirmed on our altimeters. Temperature 13. We'll take the runway 24 instead of runway 31. And basically now you need to set here the active frequency for your delivery and obtain the ATC clearance. ATC clearance is very simple. So basically you usually take the pen with you and the piece of paper, and you just write it down like pilot block force 101. You're clear to your destination according to your flight plan. Was it set 3 Alpha departure, runway 24, QNH 2992, initial climb clearance 5,000 feet, squawk 2727. So something like this, and just repeat it back. And yeah, I have example in my videos, but I'm unable to show it to you right now, maybe a little bit later from the real cockpit of the Boeing 737. Then you got your ATC clearance. First you need to go to your CDU again. You go to this RTE page, which is active right now. So you have runway 24, and you just need to confirm which with your ATC clearance, which you wrote on your piece of paper. So you confirm, okay, runway 24. You go to the next here, and you have was it set 3 Alpha, which is active on your flight plan. And then you go to your initial climb altitude that was given by the ATC, 5,000 feet. And then you go to your transponder, which is here, and you set the requested squawk to 727, and you need to confirm those numbers both. So first officer and the captain, they both confirm these data given by the air traffic controller. And then the ground agent delivers you the load sheet, so you have it in your hands. On your hands You go to CDU again and you go to init-ref page. That is your performance. And you just cross-check the zero fuel weight. So it may be different because some of the passengers may not show up on the flight. Maybe you'll have some extra cargo for your flight. So you just press for, let's say, here we have 49.9. So now we may have 50.2. So maybe 300 kilos heavier. Verify takeoff speeds because they may be deleted, and you go to N1, check everything again, go to takeoff, and if you agree you can accept the speeds, except if they're different. They're not right now, so yeah, they're quite different right now. For 1 knot they're larger, so we can change them, but sometimes there is accept button over here, so just accept them, and that's all. Also you need to check sorry guys, need to check the CG, central gravity, and you can set the different trim setting for your stop trim over here, but you need to be in this green takeoff sector over here. The load sheet information is very important, my friends, so it needs to be cross-checked by both of the pilot, by captain and by first officer, because this information might influence the airplane performance, the airplane takeoff speeds. It may also influence the airplane controllability with a different center of gravity. You may set the different trim settings, so it's very important to cross-check it with the load sheet and between each other in a crew. At some point of your pre-flight preparation, you need to find the time for your greetings to the passengers. So, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, this is your captain speaking. I usually find this time after we've done with the CDU pre-flight, after we've done with the pre-flight procedure, after we'll finish with the pre-flight checklist, which we'll do just right now. Okay, my friends, it's time for pre-flight checklist. Let's go for it. You can find it over here in a cockpit. It's the paper version. Mostly airlines use it as a paper version, but we have it in our QRH. So we go to normal checklist over here, and here we have the pre-flight. The point is that first officer reads it on the ground and calls out loud what he or she reads. At the moment, so for example, oxygen tested 100%, and both of the pilots should answer tested 100%, because we have 2 oxygen masks in a cockpit, so one on the right, one on the left. So we have the oxygen mask and should be tested as a pre-flight procedure, and this should be pushed down to regulate to 100% in case of rapid decompression. Let's move to the next item. Here we have the navigation, transfer and display switches. Normal, auto. This the duty for first officer to call out it, but don't call out if it's in wrong position. So here you just need to check the navigation, transfer and display. All these switches are in normal, and this source switch to auto. And the next is window heat on. Again, for first officer, it goes here, but do not read the checklist like a book. Just go for it, and if you miss something, for example, you missed to turn the window heat on, you don't need to say that it's on. You say, oh, it's off, then turn it on and again read window heat. Okay, now it's on, window heat on. So that's the principle how you need to follow the checklist. Don't just read it, you need to identify the system and call out its current position or current state. Pressurization mode selector, auto. So we go to our pressurization mode selector and it's moved to auto position over here, which is agreed to the checklist. So it shows the position for the system to be. Flight instruments heading altimeter. So we need to call out both of the pilots because we have 2 pairs of the flight instruments. So go to navigation display here. For example, captain call outs heading 304, altimeter QNH 1013. And first officer tells the same, heading 304, altimeters 1013. So we just cross-check the information in that case. So we call out both captain and first officer. For next, speed brake down the 10 goes to the captain. So first officer reads the checklist. Speed brake, the captain answers down 10. But if the speed brake in this position, don't call down the 10. Just move it down and then call down the 10. Parking brake set. So parking brake is here, but you also need to check I would recommend to check the hydraulic pressure for braking accumulator, because the pressure may not be enough to keep the aircraft without the chokes. So maybe you need to put on hydraulic system B for your brakes. But before, you need to call out to ground personnel that we are going to pressurize hydraulic system B. For example, you said the parking brake is set, but you see that you are in a red sector over here, so we need to call out, hey ground, we're gonna pressurize hydraulic system B. Okay, you need to pressurize, and let's see what happens. So we have 2600 now, psi, and let's set the hydraulic system B. And yeah, it's pressurized in green sector. Okay, depressurizing hydraulic system. Next item, let's go. Engine start levers cut off. Let's go to engine start levers. See, they are in cut off position over here. Next item, gear pins, 3 on board. There should be 3 gear pins, nose gear pin, and 2 main wheels gear pins. They are in the, I'll just show you, my friends, the location in central pedestal. Oh my god, again, everything is inverted. Well, here is the shelf, and there should be a box containing those 3 gear pins. Sometimes they are attached to this pedestal. Here 1 2 3, so it's better to check. The captain is responsible, well actually both of the pilots are responsible for that. Ground personnel, the maintenance personnel, use the gear pins just to secure the landing gear struts from the retraction. So if they will be left in those landing gear struts, you will be unable to retract the landing gear after takeoff. So it's very important to take precautions and to check them if you are not sure if they're on board. Otherwise, you would have to divert to your origin airport just to remove the gear pins. And now let's admit, my friends, that we have information from our cabin crew that all the passengers on board, cargo, mail on board, if we carry that stuff, and you can ask them to close the door, and they say to you, doors are closed, we're ready for taxi. Okay, nice. And you now can request the startup clearance, or you can request the pushback clearance, whether you are on a parking stand or on a gate, or like we are here. We will not request the pushback, we will just request the startup, and we'll taxi throughout the runway, throughout the apron for our runway 24. But that will be in next videos, my friends. I hope you enjoyed this video series, and let me remind you that these videos were done not for real airplane but for simulator flights. So if you fly the simulator, explain Zibo or PMDG on Prepare 3D, these videos are perfect for you. If you want to fly the real airplane, please follow the Boeing regulations and your airline manuals. Thank you very much for watching this video, my friends. I hope you enjoy them, because you awesome guy. I know you're awesome guy, that is why you enjoy my videos, and you need to follow special awesome guy checklist. So first, like this video, then subscribe to my channel, then ring the bell, whatever it means. Thank you very much for watching, and have a great time.